Hey, Rumble World Entertainment, and of course we did the video the other day about John Rambo, the prequel, and one of the things that came up in it was how Lionsgate and Millennium have now joined forces, and I said there was another part of this that we were going to talk about, and that is this part, because not just are they getting the rights and stuff to the Rambo franchise, they have now secured all the derivative works for the Expendables. So they are now talking about future films and television outings for the Expendables. Now that one's incredibly interesting, seeing as the Expendables definitely came from Stallone. They are Stallone's babies. Now, he got a little screwed over with the fourth movie, but let's have a look anyway at what it's saying here about Lionsgate and stuff, because we got the word now that the prequel is moving forward of Rambo with Millennium Media, and the studio has now confirmed that Noah Centineo is going to be in it playing the young Rambo, and it's all part of the new deal with Lionsgate. So it's saying, interestingly, Lionsgate has also secured the rights to develop and produce all derivative works, including future film and television productions of the Expendables franchise. So, Brian Goldsmith, the COO of Lionsgate, said, "This deal expands Lionsgate's portfolio of genre-defining action franchises and reinforces our commitment to delivering world-class IP across multiple platforms. We're excited to reimagine both the Expendables and Rambo across film and television. And with John Rambo, we're bringing together a bold creative team to reinvent a classic character for a new generation of fans." Now, just before I go on, people will be very concerned about that part there, the new generation, so the modern audience. No, that's not really the way he explains it. He's talking about bringing the character to a new generation, so younger fans, people who didn't grow up with Stallone's version, they're going to still get to meet the characters. That's what they're kind of talking about there. They're not saying like all of a sudden he's going to be gay and he's going to be fighting for the LGBTQ and all this type of crap. What is concerning is that they're saying we're excited to reimagine both the Expendables and Rambo. What do you mean you want to reimagine the Expendables and Rambo? And where does Stallone fit in with this? Because, especially with the Expendables, because Expendables is Stallone's work. That's not a studio came up with the idea and he jumped on board and went, yeah, I'll be a part of it. He's the guy who wrote the Expendables and created the Expendables. So, where does he fit in with this? So, this guy continued anyway, saying, "We've always believed in the enduring power of these franchises, and this partnership gives them the scale, creative support, and global reach they deserve." Adding, Jonathan Younger, president of Millennium Media, said, "Lionsgate's strong track record with major action properties makes it the ideal partner to help shape the next chapters of the Expendables and Rambo." So the one thing that is very evident from this is they are planning to do more Expendables. The question at the moment is, are they talking about movies or TV or both? Because they're talking about it both ways. Now the question then would be, what way do you do the Expendables as a TV show? The one thing that was very evident, especially from Expendables 4, that they need was the old crew. You needed Stallone, Statham, Terry Crews, Randy Couture, Dolph Lundgren, Jet Li. They were the main group, and it was clear that without them being there, it was on rocky ground. Now, what do they do TV-wise? Now, we know Stallone wanted to expand the universe. Obviously, he wanted the all-female one, which he wanted to call Expendables, and he wanted Sigourney Weaver to lead that. We also know he wanted to do a younger version of the Expendables with the crew that were introduced in Expendables 3. So where do they go with that? They could obviously use that for the TV show and stuff. With the violence and stuff that's in those movies, like, do you continue that with TV form? Obviously, TV means they would be looking for it to land on a streaming service. So whether it be Netflix or Prime or something, I think they'd be the two they would more look for. We don't quite know, but again, the biggest question comes, where does Stallone fit in with all of this? Because again, Expendables is his. He wrote the thing. It's his idea. He came up with the whole thing. And he came up with it because he wanted to give back to the old action hero. He wanted the old actors to be able to get that big hurrah back. I love the Expendables franchise. The first two are great. The third one, I enjoy the third one. It's obviously the weaker one compared to the first two. The second one is my favourite. I think the second one just was absolute perfection between the action, the violence, and even the comedy. But the third one was great. The biggest issue everybody had with the third one, and even Stallone said what a mistake that was, and he was pressured into doing it from the studio because the studio were like, this will work brilliantly, was obviously the PG-13 thing. Because the first thing he said after that movie pretty much bombed was, yeah, we're not doing PG-13 again. And then of course the whole crap happened with the fourth movie where the whole thing with Terry Crews and the one of the producers, that apparently the allegations there came about. So Terry Crews is like, if he's still involved, I'm not involved. So they lost Terry Crews. Then Stallone had an argument with Millennium. He walked. Once he walked, Schwarzenegger said, I'm not doing it. If Stallone's not doing it, he was gone. So you had some of the biggest players for the franchise gone. And then at the last minute, they convinced Stallone to come back. But of course, he was pretty much a cameo in it. So if you haven't seen Expendables 4 and you don't really care, I suppose I'll spoil it. If you do want to see it and you haven't seen it yet, spoilers I suppose, just skip forward a little bit. But Barney Ross starts off the movie and then seemingly is killed off. And you're like, oh, they just killed him off. And then he returns at the end and, you know, he switched places with someone because he needed to go covert apparently to weed out the actual villain of the movie. I still enjoy the fourth movie because Statement carries it, and there is another character who shows up who was a great character. But overall, the movie itself, yeah, it you know, it's a letdown because it lacks the power of Stallone being there with Statement. It lacks the, you know, enjoyable cameos of Schwarzenegger coming in. There was no Harrison Ford character in here or Bruce Willis character, and you were very much following this just kind of thrown together young team, and it was like, well, 50 Cent like sleepwalked through the movie. I still didn't absolutely hate it, but it by far is the worst out of the four movies. So where do you go? What do you do? They clearly are planning more, so it's the case of, well, are you working with Stallone to do more? Like, I think you're going to really lose a partnership with Stallone if you are taking his movies, his characters, and his stories, and you're going to do all this stuff without him. You're going to, like, you turn around at some stage and go, hey, Stallone, do you want to work? He's going to go, no. Why would I work with you when you've done this to me? It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But as of now, they are planning, along with the prequel to Rambo, more Expendables, both on the big screen and small screen. So let me know what you guys think of this. Would you want to see more Expendables? What do you think of an Expendables series, as in TV show? And do you think it would be a mistake not to involve Stallone? And do you think he should be the one that ushers in more Expendables? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the hype button. It lets YouTube know these videos are worth checking out. And of course, check out memberships if you really want to help out the channel. It helps me out. You guys have been great, by the way, with the views and the subs. So keep it up. Really does help me out. It does help the channel out. So it's very, very much appreciated. So with that, cheers. And I'll catch you in the next one.